With so much happening in X-Men Days of Future Past, perhaps this movie's true stroke of genius is that it never once feels bloated or convoluted. It incorporates three casts. You have the main cast of characters from both the original X-Men trilogy as well as from First Class, plus a lineup of newcomers. No one gets as much screen time as Wolverine and the cast from First Class, and none of the newcomers really get much depth. This is fine. Seeing as how this is an epic action movie at heart, we don't really need to have every character who's on screen get a full backstory. Especially when the newcomers are there just for you to care about them enough, that they don't annoy you as you watch them get tossed aside by the impending mecha doom, but not care about them enough that you feel heartbreak when they get tossed aside like ragdolls toward the end. The actors are there just to make one action pose after another, and let CGI do the rest. And it's good CGI at that. Not overbearing, and definitely not cheesy. Even for a well-edited movie, and a surprisingly well-edited movie at that, if we're supposed to feel heartbreak for the newcomers, there's hardly any heartbreak felt. But perhaps the biggest heart-pounder comes not during the short, action-heavy scenes when you watch the newcomers get tossed aside, but when you watch the cast from the original trilogy face their doom. Mystique / Raven, played by Jennifer Lawrence, is seductive and cunning. Eric Langer, played by Michael Fassbender, is equally as clever and uses his cleverness mixed with aggression to solve his problems as well as those of the world of mutants. Charles Xavier, played by James McAvoy, evolves quickly but steadily from a lackadaisy, devil-may-care day tripper to Xavier we all remember from the previous X-Men movies. He grows to become intelligent, determined, patient, passionate, persuasive, and eventually a ray of hope for himself and those around him. Not one character feels like they are wasting our time or our money. The actors bring believability to the screen that surpasses the veterans who play their older selves. This is not to say that the stars from the original trilogy were lesser actors than those from First Class. Not by far. For the roles they were given, they did well, even if those roles were mostly staring at one another with some expression of hopelessness spread across their face. The one actor, and at the same time the one character, who actually has some depth, but not enough screen time, is Pietro Maximoff, also known as Quicksilver, played by Evan Peters. He is as interesting as he is fun, as he is cool. Despite giving Pietro as much character as the filmmakers have, he isn't in the movie that long. Heck, he isn't even in the movie as long as the bit parts we watch get thrown aside by the Sentinels, which is kind of disappointing, but perhaps the producers probably felt that if he is in Avengers Age of Ultron, why give Pietro any more screen time in the movie than is necessary if he's only there to get Eric out of prison? Kind of funny when you think about Pietro's role that way, when there have now been 7 X-Men movies, and much of the focus on the franchise has been on Wolverine, who even gets his own movie. I give this movie 4 out of 5 stars. It comes close to being fantastic. But if you're going to this movie expecting an X-Men masterpiece, you've got your hopes set way too high. But I say, if an X-Men masterpiece is what you felt you saw, then good for you. If you came out of the movie feeling a little bit confused or disturbed, I'm not surprised. Maybe a second or third viewing will help clear things up. And this movie is just about good enough that a second or third viewing just might be worth it. Thank you for your time.